morning, good morning. Give me a few minutes and I will just go ahead and share this. One more. Okay, all done. Where is it? Oopsie daisy. Look, I've shared the wrong thing. That's okay. I'm sure people will find me. Oh boy, we've got lots of people on already. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, Debbie, Kirsty. Got me with the time cup of tea and Easter cupcake at 5 p.m. BST. Good morning from a snowy? No way, Jill. Is it really snowy there? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I think I accidentally shared the original post. I didn't share the video, but that's okay. I'm sure people will find me. Okay, so what's going on today? Look, I gotta tell you guys, thank you so much for everybody that signed up for the workshop. All I have left right now is my actual workshop, and I've got some embellishment packs that go with the workshop. This has been ever so popular. Good morning, Gloria. But good news is, on two fronts, I'm supposed to have 3 boxes delivered today, all with Stamperia and more products for this workshop. So if you haven't signed up, there's still a chance to sign up. I know I've kind of cleaned Dali out, but she's going to try and get in another order by the time the workshop goes ahead. So thank you very much. I wanted to say for that. As you know, last week we started playing with the... Oh, that's not nice, Jill. I think we're past the snow. We were really warm yesterday. In fact, I spent the day gardening with my mum yesterday. My dad went out earlier. He doesn't like being in the sun, and me and my mum quite like the sun. Spent all day there yesterday. So I'm a little bit disheveled today, because I was even telling Dali this morning when I was talking to her, and I was like, you know, this is the first time I think this is the least prepared I've been, because I really enjoyed my Easter weekend. I made a big turkey dinner and everything, and yeah, you know, when you just kind of lose your mojo. I didn't want to be in the craft room. I just wanted to kind of take it easy. That's what happened. Anyway, so last week I did this, and I started talking about the finishing wax from Pentart, which I have here somewhere. So I'm just going to carry on. This one was done with the... Good morning, Charlie. This one was done with some... Oh goodness me, fire gold wax on top, so you can see the difference when you put the wax on top. I am going to be doing this workshop for crafting with all brands on Sunday, 11 o'clock our time, 7 p.m. UK time. This was very, very popular, so I'm going to be doing that on Sunday again at Crafting with All Brands. I think that's what it's called. Okay, so no snow in Kent. Bit chilly, yeah, but Dali was in the garden on the Easter weekend. She said it was so hot. At one point it was 23, so I don't know. I got myself a nice blister, because, you know, I don't know how to pace myself when I'm in the garden, but somebody tell me this. My inner thighs are hurting. I've got no idea why. All I did was garden for a day. Okay, I cut the grass, did weeding, made all the shrubs around, cut down some tree branches, and, you know, I don't know why my inner thighs are hurting. I got no idea. I really don't know. Believe me, it was nothing exciting going on in my life, so, you know, I don't know. What can I tell you? So today we're going to carry on with the... Pentart Finishing Wax. I told you I'm a little bit disheveled today. I'm kind of all over the place. And again, this is based on when Antonis did it with the vintage paste, just showing you that this is one of the same things, pretty much. So I said I would do a sample where I use scrapbooking paper to make something vintage. Bending over and crouching down. Yes, that might have done it, Christy. I'm just so shocked. They are so sore. It's like I've been doing that Suzanne Summers thing, that thigh master thing that she used to have back in the day, in the 80s. But I was just like, okay, I don't get it. But yeah, it could have been because the ones that I had to make round, I must have spent about 6 hours just rounding those off. We've got such a big front landscaped area. It's not done yet, but Mum and Dad are so helpful. So we did it here with the scrapbooking paper. Hello, Gail. Did it with the scrapbooking paper here, and so I'll show you how I did that. I showed some of you these last week. This is with the Crackle Paste. This is with the A5 molds from Stamperia. This is with gel paste and stamped. And this is with modeling paste, a bit too dark for my liking, but we'll see what happens today. And this was if you just go straight onto paper. This is just £110 cardstock. This is modeling paste, and this is the Crackle Paste. So bear with me today. I'm going to try and do this in some kind of proper order. My mat's dirty. Because I'm just going to do what Dolly does, fly by the seat of my pants. But she doesn't really fly. I had to grab my water here. She doesn't really fly. She actually manages to make it look like she knows what she's doing. Here I made a boo-boo. What I did was, this is about the only prepping I got done. Here I made a boo-boo. So in order to get the crackle effect, because I knew it would take a while for the primer to dry, I thought, oh, I'll just go and put the primer on for the Crackle Paste and do the Crackle Paste in the light. But I forgot to paint it. So now I have this one that sits like this. This is just a primer, but then I went and made the proper one that I'm going to use today. So maybe we'll see what we can do with this one. So this primer was stenciled through late last night. I was so not organized. So what we're going to do, let's prepare some of the stuff that's going to take us a little bit of a while to dry. So let's do these two first. So here I've already taken, let me get my box of goodies here. Let me see, no space today. So for this, I've already done the Crackle Paste primer, and I took it through the stencil, opposed to not taking it through the stencil. Here, I actually covered the whole tag in the primer. So you can do it one of whatever way you want. This one, I really wanted to just leave it as is. So now we're going to take the Crackle Paste and we are going to put that through the stencil. So I'm going to do both. And let's line these up. Hopefully I can line them up. If not, that's okay. I'm not too fussed. So hopefully you guys can see all that. Hey Britt, how you doing, Han? Oh, you must be doing good. I know you're doing good. I don't know where Paul is. I haven't seen him, my little sidekick. I haven't heard from him today. So let's just go put the primer through, and let's just hope I've got seams lined up pretty good. But yeah, I wanted to put the primer through, because I don't want to have to go through all this and then wait for it to dry. Because these stencils they're 3, I believe. Micromillion, is that what you call them? So it was going to take a little bit of time for the primer to dry. So we will just put these through. As usual, I'm at the end of my product here. I do have another bottle, so I could open that. yeah, so I don't know. I just kind of got funky over the weekend. I just didn't feel like doing anything craft related. I don't know. Is that bad? I don't want to put any pressure on myself. It's just like, I don't know. I just don't want to come in the craft room. No, do you guys go through that where it's just like you just lose your mojo? Is it just me? You guys are like, open another tube already. I think I'm going to have to because I've got another one to go here. Okay, let's see if I can finish this one off and then I will open another one. Okay, let's set this one to dry. I'm going in all kinds of directions today. And being oh so not careful. I'm just going to take off the excess. I kind of really like the white look on here too. Okay, so that's one. So what we're going to do, we're going to set that aside to dry and hopefully, yes, frequently. Okay, it's good to know, Lynette. Oh, yes, I'm here, Dali. Thank you. Oh, good, Pat. I was just saying, Dali, sometimes, sometimes this weekend I kind of lost my mojo and I don't know. I don't want to be in the craft room. So, Dali, I've already put the primer on these yesterday, the only time I showed up in my craft room. And now I'm just trying to line this up. This was a mistake, accidentally primed this without painting it, but we'll see what happens. Okay, I'm going to open another one because now I'm just being silly. Because this one's done. Don't have much hope in that one. Okay, oopsie daisy, let's just put that to the side. Oh yeah, making a mess here. As smooth like butter when you open a new one. Oh shoot, I don't think I have this. Oh, I do. Sorry, excuse me. Told you it's one of those days. We're just going to play with this one and see what happens, what I can do with it, even though it's got no color on the back. I'm sure we can make this vintage. Throw on some paint. I'm going to be working a lot with the Decor Soft today. I love that choky look, and one, it dries really fast. Except for on the A5 mold, I'm going to actually show you that you can use acrylics or whatever paint you want. Okay, so let's put that one away. And let's put this on the side to dry also. And put this in water. Okay, so we've got two, we got two here that we're putting aside. This is already starting to crackle, so that's good news. So we're gonna just put these two aside. Let's put them up there. Let's now do some, so that's that one. We're just gonna do some painting and then some modeling paste on top. So this one is the Cardinal Red. This dries really fast, so that's good. You can do one layer or you can do 2 layers. It's entirely up to you. I mean, 1 layer gives it really good coverage too. I just love this bright Cardinal Red color. I won't do, oh, well, maybe I will do the sides now that I've started. I like doing my sides. It gives them a finished look. I wasn't going to do it, but I will. So yeah, even one layer is good. But we'll see. I'll see as it dries how it looks. Okay, I'm just gonna dry so I can hold it on that end. Roya, you're in luck with the stencil. There's more coming today, but I already have one set aside for you. It's actually part of the workshop, so it comes in your workshop kit. So you already actually have it technically. I knew you'd like that stencil. I was wondering when you would hit me up for it, because I know you like that thing, that kind of corset-y thing. Just gonna paint this because I've just got this color on the brush for my scrapbook paper one. And it's just a round wooden piece. And then that one is done too. Okay. I'm gonna take any excess paint off my brush. Now, I don't know if the modeling paste one will dry in time, but we can always hope, right? If not, you'll get the gist. Okay, put that one in water. Let's give these a dry. I've got modeling paste here because that's what we're going to use. Gloria, I can put it in part of your package too because you're doing the workshop, so not a problem there. Okay, let's use a different stencil now because that one's wet. So I'm going to use our other stencil, which is called Butterfly. But how do I want to do this? Let's do it this way so we get lots of action going on. So this one is going to be the modeling paste. I'm going to try and go as thin as I can because I want this to dry. I'm glad you guys are loving the stencils. I know we sure are. I feel bad because the one that I always use, my Pentart background textures, I haven't even looked at it. I feel like I'm having an affair on it with these other stencils. The poor love is sitting in my stencil box, wondering where I am, why I'm not using it on my projects. I haven't replaced my texture background stencil. I'm just playing in the field a little bit, if you will, but I'll be back. Hopefully this isn't too thick. I'm trying to thin it out. Take your time and look at, you can get a lot of coverage with just a little bit. You just have to take your time. I didn't clean my palette knife, it still had Crackle Paste on it. Okay, so we got one more that we need to do that will have, oh yo, I've got stenciling on the other one too, but now I'm going to wash my stencil. So guess what? I'm just going to go grab my third stencil, our new third stencil. Oopsie daisy, that one got a little bit funky on me. Probably pressed on too much. So there we have butterfly. So that's modeling paste. I'm just going to grab my other stencil. And for this one, we're going to use our astral stencil. So we're just like plodding along here with all the stencils. So all 3 stencils get used today. That's good news, Pat. I'm glad you're going to get your shot. Oh, you got registered already. That's brilliant. Okay, so for this one, let's go ahead and use... what color is that? Patina green. I love, love, love this patina green. You can see how bright all these are right now. And then you'll see how... not so bright, because we're going to make them vintage. So find a half decent brush here, and same thing, we're just going to come in and paint this. Now you can use a Deco primer if you want to. I don't usually on wet, to be honest, because I don't have to. If you want to make this shiny, there's a Deco primer that you can put over this and make it shiny. Not primer, varnish. But you can get like a silky smooth look, so you can actually turn all these chalk paints into a silky smooth look. Or use any other kind of varnish. And like I said, I like the coverage these give, and I like the color palettes that they come in. You guys are just watching me do a lot of prep today. But it's important you see what these look like before you actually go ahead and start making them vintage. And just dry that so that I can do the rest of it. Now you can mix and match colors too, and I might do that with the one where I kind of accidentally did the primer without the paint, and we'll have a play with that too, see what happens. Okay, so we have another piece done here. Now we have that. What else do I have that I have to do? Well, I have to stencil this one. So what we're going to do, let's go ahead and dry this and do some stamping. This is starting to crackle already. You can see that. And as is this one. Okay, so for this one, we're going to do some stamping first. So I'm going to use the Moments stamp, because I just like the saying there. And we're going to use Stays On, because that will stay on when we do stuff on it. looks about straight. I'm just gotta replenish my stays on here. It always seems to dry out so quick, it's not even funny. And then I can get a little bit high of it too while I'm at it. You guys listening to me? Okay, well, let's see. Don't want to replenish it too much either, because I need that kind of, oh, let me show you here what I mean. One that kind of the stamp is there, but it's not quite there kind of look, like it's distressed. But let's see, I might have put a little bit too much on, but we shall find out. So this is just easy, just go in and stamp wherever your heart desires. You can use any of the shock art stamps. This technique only works with shock art stamps, no other stamps. I'm just kidding. Nearly missed the hope of the end. Let's throw in the girl. The lady. And let's put her in, shall we? I'm so bad, aren't I? I should probably really have mushed this around when I put it down. And let's put her down here. So we do it to the side. Let's do it to the side a little bit here. Didn't get my crackle stamp out today. That's a first. Thanks, Charlie. I like to think I am. I was just so okay. So there. Do you see that? How it's already very distressed. So you can always shadow stamp or ghost stamp. I don't know what they call that. Yeah, sometimes people get my sense of humor, Debbie. Sometimes they don't. All depends, I guess. Now let's do the key, because I like the key. And we'll do it kind of over her head. And that's not very straight. Let's do a butterfly, but I'll give you an idea of what I'm trying to do. Maybe do a couple more, just because I can. Okay. Let's put the stamp set away. And I'm just going to dry that quickly. Maybe put my pad upside down. I think it should be pretty dry, but let's try it. It's not exactly called very straight. So now I'm going to take gel paste, which is transparent. So this is great with alcohol inks or anything else you want to use. Morning, Terry. So it's good with that. So I'm just gonna, I don't know, just in some places just randomly do some stenciling. Now, I don't want you to worry too much about where you stencil, because the good news is that it will all show through anyway. So I'm just going to take some spots, not a lot of spots, maybe a little bit here, maybe we'll do some down here. Now I'm going to try and go thin again, because I do want this to dry. But I'm going to do a little bit more than I did on my original tag, because that way you can see what I mean about it being transparent and how it actually picks up. I'm just going to see if I think I have enough down. Yeah, it looks like I have enough down. Talk to myself while I do this. Okay, maybe I put too much on now. I don't know. Oh well. See what happens, yeah? Okay, so that's the gel paste. Love the gel paste. Dali loves the gel paste. Okay, now we're gonna let this dry, put this stencil away. I think I've used all the new stencils today. And there we go. So you'll know that's dry when it goes clear, but I'm just gonna give it a bit of a hit. Okay, so can you, I don't know if you can see the stenciling on that. It's there. Okay, we're going to put that one to dry. Now, let me just paint this. Let me see. Maybe I'll paint it in ochre. No, give me a second. I will paint in ochre after I've got the next one ready. I just realized it would help if I did this one here first, because I'll have my ochre paint out. So we're going to do this one next. And all we're going to do is just going to fit even. These are just leftovers. I'm not worried that it's got black on it. No, they're not leftovers. They're just pieces that I have that I... Okay, what I was doing with it, I was using it as a stamp. That's why it's got that on it. So the A5 molds are great to use as stamps too. That's what that is. But I'm not too fussed about it being on there. So I'm just gonna glue this down. The nice thing about the vintage paste too is that you don't have to worry too much about how great your painting technique is. Usually I'm pretty particular about blending, but you will see today I'm not going to be too fussed about blending, because the vintage paint just makes it look awesome. Okay, so then what you can do is you can put this down. I don't know, I mean, this looks good enough to me. I don't, why I went for the middle, don't ask me, but I did. Okay, so you should really wait till this is dry, but I don't want to wait, so I'm going to cut this off. Oh, see, I should have waited because now it's pulling on the side. Such a bad child. Let's see, did I take it off? Still kind, oh, a little bit. That's okay. It will add to the final thing. And does she stop? No, she carries on, knowing it's not dry. Oh, yo. Okay. It's a little bit funky there because I pulled on it, but that should be good. Let's just snip off some little bit there. There we have it. Okay, now keep these pieces because you can still use them to stamp. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we can come in and just randomly paint this. So I'm just going to use turquoise. These are all matte. You can use glossy. I've got turquoise, I've got mint, I've got red clay, and I've got my favorite ochre. So I've got so much going on here, don't I, guys? All right, what's this one for? I have an extra one. Okay, so let's start with the light, shall we? Let's see, I don't have any decent brushes here. It's not really going to matter at this point because I'm just really trying to get into the grooves anyway. This one's too long. Okay, this one might look. So I'm going to take my ochre and I'm just going to paint this while we're at it. Oopsie daisy, it's very thick. This is going to go on our scrapbook paper one. Now, if you don't want to use scrapbook paper, the rice paper works just as well. You can use this technique on there. So I'll just put that one to dry, and then we're just gonna come in. Like I said, I'm not gonna be too fussed about my blending today. Let's take it off that green thing so that it doesn't look so funky. So I'm just gonna come in. Give my brush a bit of a wipe. Let's do some of this clay, which I love, love, love. And let's just bring that in. Trying to get into the grooves here. This one is this A5 mold is done very thick because I wanted to use it as a stamp, but you can obviously do these a lot thinner. So this is quite deep. So if you are wanting to blend and do a really nice blend job, get the most of the paint off your brush like this, get it all off, and then come in, and then you can see how the colors will gently blend in more. When you have too much paint on your brush, you're not going to achieve that blending effect. Okay, I really do like that mint color. I use the turquoise on the other one. So you can still see the yellow in my so get the majority of the paint off. Now don't go straight into blending, because if you go straight into blending, your brush is going to pick up that color. So do the other areas where you want this color first. And then come in and start doing your blending. I'm just doing it in circular motions. So instead of the turquoise blue here, what I've done, I've gone with the mint. So you have a dark one and you have a light one. And this will be a good contrast for you to see how different they look. I want this to be a little bit more bluer. I feel like I'm working fast today. I don't know what's wrong with me. Well, fast, and feel like I'm going fast. Maybe I'm not. Okay, so you got it kind of looking like this now. So a big difference from using the turquoise, as you can see. I'm just going to blend this in a little bit more here. There we go. Now, what else can we do to prep? And then we got one more prep, and then after that, that's it. We're going to play with the finishing wax. Okay, so we got lots of stuff percolating over here. It is all drying very nicely. Let's put this one over here too. And the last one that we're going to do is I'm just going to show you how to do it on a piece of scrapbook paper. So you always want to protect your surface. So you're going to use, you can use a mixed media glue that's watered down or what you want. I just prefer to use the Decoupage varnish and glue for the bottom and the top. Just keep it all in one go, that kind of thing. Not worry too much about using two different glues. I just use the Decoupage matte medium because it is actually a glue. But if you use this over your work, what happens is you can throw anything at your work and it will not ruin your scrapbook paper or your rice paper. And this is the last one we're going to do. Okay, so now whereabouts do I want her? So I do want her in there, so let me see. Maybe I'll put her over a little bit. Okay. Oh, Roya, I have to show you. Remember that day when I was telling you I was at the dollar store and I picked up a Jade Brayer? This is a little Jade Brayer for $1.25. It's jade. It's actually meant for your face. It's at the Dollar Tree. That's where it was. It's meant for your face. It's really cold. That's how apparently you know it's real jade. And I picked it up not for my face. I picked it up because I wanted to see if I could do delicate brayering with it. But anyway, because it's so heavy, I found a use for it. So sometimes when you go and you see stuff, doesn't always mean you have to use what it's for. But because it's so heavy and it's so smooth, and it means I'm not worried about getting this dirty because I haven't used this with anything. Yeah, this is what I'm using that brayer for. That side's not stuck. This is what happens when you don't put enough down. I did that last week too, didn't I? I didn't put enough down. I know, Roy. Remember you were saying, what are you doing with it? Well, now you know. That's what I wanted it for. I like to think I'm not at that age where I need to really take care of myself. I mean, hard to believe I'm going to be 60 in like 7 years. Oh my God. Okay, so what I'm going to do... No, I'm not going to do this. I said I was going to come over the top of it, but I'm not. I'm going to cut it first. And this is, again, not what you do. You let it dry and then you cut it. It's very, very naughty. Okay, so there we have it. And then what we're going to do is come over it with the Decoupage Matte Medium. Now, on this one, I went over the sides already to match the color I had here. This one I'll probably do ochre again because she's got this beautiful ochre color in her hair. So that's the edge I will do. I won't do it today, but so let's just put this on here. It's better to use a smoother brush so you don't have the lines show through, but that's okay because we'll just massage it in. Now this will dry clear too. So anytime you think your lines are showing up too much from where you've decoupaged, because you didn't pick up your smooth brush, just come in and just massage it in like this. And then that way, if you do it gently enough, you won't get any brush strokes or marks. I'm going to dry this because we need to glue down 2 of the pieces, and I'm going to be using the heavy body gel. Because as you all know, once you use heavy body gel, it is not going anywhere. And really trying to stay away from using my glue gun unless I really need to. Okay, so let's bring out the heavy body gel and glue this down to here. They're quite bright pieces, a little bit too bright, but that's okay. It's kind of done now. I'm not going to change it. But maybe by the time it's all said and done, I don't have my little thing to clean it here, but take off your excess gel if you can. Where do we want this? It might look nice in her hair. Decisions. No. Kind of like it behind her. Oh, maybe we'll put it under her chin. Because I just can't decide right now. Okay. I'll do it this way. It's just really to show you the technique of the finishing wax. Okay, so. All right, we still have this one that we don't know what we're doing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint it in a different couple of colors. I've just got a couple here. This is poison green. We've got olive, which is part of your workshop. And I've got an olive tree green here. I've got so many colors of these. So let's just do a bit of a mismatch, shall we? So I'm being brave today. Need different brushes. Okay, let's just start with a little bit of olive. Don't know how this is gonna look, don't know what I'm really doing here, but we're just gonna give it a bit of a mishmash. And like I always say, sometimes it's just nice to play. Okay, let's try this olive green. You can still see the crackle underneath it. Not putting a lot on my brush, just so I don't know if you guys can tell. Let's give it a little, I don't know, this might be too dark. Might be too dark. Let me tap a little bit off because I'm scared myself here. Oh, it might work. And hopefully we can do something with this piece now. I'll come in and make it a little bit lighter. I actually like that olive green quite a bit too. Get full coverage here. Come in with some olive green. Need to stir this. It's not stirred. Really like this olive green. Oops, I need to stir this and I don't have my stir stick. I'm picking up some of the oil here. Okay, So there you have it. We'll see what happens to this one, shall we? We shall see. Okay, let's play with the what we came for here today. Remember? So let me put all this stuff away, because all we're gonna need now rid of all this stuff, all this mess I have going on here. And okay, so what we have here today is our finishing wax, the brown one. Oops, am I making the camera move? I'm making it all kind of jittery. Okay, that'll do. So finishing wax from what we used last week. And then remember I said that I just have this in a little bit of, look, you can see it's not runny, it's not watery, it's just kind of creamy. You can see it there on the end, it's creamy. Just to keep my brush a little bit relaxed and ready to use. Okay, so let's have a look at something that's really dry. Now this is kind of dry, so you want to pop this open. And the first thing that you want to do is, let me get rid of this and this. You just want to brush it on. You always want to have your baby wipes ready, always. And make it into like a little ball. You can rub off wherever you want, maybe less or more, however you feel. You saw me do it on the live last week. So now what I'm doing, I'm just tapping into my wax here, just tapping into it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go pretty much in one direction up and down the tag. And what I'll do is I'll show you one side of it, half of it, what it looks like, and then I'll finish it off just so you guys get an idea. So make sure you get in all the grooves. Okay, you can go darker if you choose to. So this is what it looks like right now, okay? And then what you want to do is slowly but gently start moving off your wax, just like that. And you leave some of your edges darker and some areas lighter. Now, can you see the difference? Where it's very vintage and where it's very clear. But I want more in my grooves, so I'm just going to go back over those grooves a little bit more, and I'm going to come finish off the rest of the tag. And maybe my grooves didn't take as much as I wanted to because my brush might have a little bit too much solvent on it, or maybe I pressed too hard. But really, I really want these raised areas to get picked up more than anything. Now, if you're afraid of getting messy, you're gonna have to leave that out the door, because that's what's gonna happen. So again, take your baby wipe and go in one direction, okay? Just one direction. And just do areas where you want it very light, and areas where you're not worried if it's not very light, okay? And keep changing your baby wipe around and over. Now I have it in the grooves where I want it. So if you want to make an area very white or clear, then just, oopsie daisy, I went in a circular motion, told you guys not to do that. you can come into those areas and just pick it right off. So now you have this gorgeous textured vintage tag. So this is with the gel paste and stamping, okay? Gel paste and stamping. Okay, let's see, what else do we have? This one looks kind of dry. This one has a lot of grooves. So you want to get into all of them. Now you might think a stiffer brush is good, but it will get gooped up. That's why you want this kind of soft bristle brush. Mine's just from Michael's. I do carry the Stamperia ones too that they use when they use a vintage paste. I mean, this just transforms anything and everything. So I will show you what half looks like. I could go in more deeper. This very deep mode, probably not, should have picked a different one. So here you have it like this. And roll up your make sure you go into your little nooks and crannies. I won't spend too much time on that. So that's with none on it, and that's with it making it very vintage. Okay, so let's finish that one off. And again, you can leave your areas darker in some places and lighter in some. Now I'm doing this very fast, but you do really want to take your time and get into all the grooves to get the full effect. Now, Dali, I'm sure you have some of this. I think I might have cleaned you out, right? I don't know. I just ordered so much from Dali of this stuff. It's been so popular. And plus we use it in the workshop, so. I should pull out another baby wipe so it dries a little bit. You don't want your baby wipe to be soapy or anything, okay? You want it to be relatively dry. So total difference just from using the light, the mint from the turquoise. If you want to come in and just darken up your sides, you can do that and just leave it. Now, if you remember last week, I had mentioned to you, in order for this to stay and not be sticky and kind of all over you, you need to come in and all of these pieces will need to be varnished with a solvent-based varnish. Okay. It is called Clear Varnish Matte by Pentart. It is solvent-based, which means that it can go directly onto a water-based product. A water-based varnish will not work. So it's be interesting when you go back and look at how these looked. Thank you, hun, Dali. I know the brown effects are just gorgeous. It'll be amazing to see when you go back and look at what it looked like when I originally started to how bright it was to now how vintage it is. So there's the two pieces, turquoise blue versus mint blue, but both just as equally nice. You could probably use these together. Okay, so okay, that's that piece. Look at me, I'm just like, la, la, la. Let's see what else is dry. Modeling paste isn't exactly dry, so what will happen is that it will kind of lift off when I use it. So let's go to the crackled piece, and my favorite stencil right now. So try and get in all the nooks and crannies. If you want to do it in layers with a smoother brush, then look, if you put solvent on it, you can definitely do that. See how it goes on a lot more smoothly. You can do that if you just want to go for it all in one go. Then just go right into the pot and bring out all the goodness. It's entirely up to you. I've done it both ways. I just did more layers when I did it with more solvent on my tag. Oh, I forgot to do half and half, didn't I? So this is what it looks like right now, and then we are going to come in and we are going to start lifting some of that up. Not all of it, just strategically take your time in different areas. See where you can see where I've started brightening her bodice. So if you really want it bright, you just gotta come in and pick up those areas. Do her arm there. And maybe we'll brighten up her skirt so she stands out from the crowd. So everything's kind of dark around her, but she's a lot lighter. But see how beautiful that is? And it goes darker up here because I've chosen to remove less, which is very kind of white at the bottom there. So that's that one. What else do we have left? Oh, let's have a look at the one that it's a bit wet. It's probably that oil. Let's have a look at this one, because this was our kind of boo-boo one. I know I'm kind of doing everything repetitive, but I hope you can see the different effects of using different products. So here's our half and half. Ooh, I like it. Sometimes when you do stuff that you weren't planning on doing a certain way, sometimes it does work out just good. Oh, this is so vintage. Look at that. It's so vintage. Okay, so let's do the other half. Yes, Tara, it is. Yes, you're doing the same thing with it. Same with the solvent that Antonis does. Same techniques. it is very much a vintage paste. Again, go lighter where you want to, and keep it dark in areas you don't. Okay, so this was our piece where I had put the paint on after the fact, but look at it. It turned out really nice. You can't really see it, but you can see, that's good, Pat, because you brought some, didn't you? Yes. Like I said, after last week's Facebook Live, it's done, people are loving it. Just, it's sometimes good to show people how stuff works. Can't really see it, but I can see the different colors in the background down her bodice. Okay, so we got how many pieces down? We've got a few pieces. We've got 4 pieces down. Okay, let's risk it. Shall we risk it? Shall we try? Let me give this a bit of a blast. Gloria, are you talking? I think you're talking about this one. This one was where I forgot to put the blue paint on when I was prepping my sample. I accidentally went straight in with the Crackle primer. And then I did the Crackle paste on top. Whereas this one, I put the paint down first and did the Crackle primer and Crackle paste. But then I went in with the 3 different decor paints over it, so I could get my background colored. And now we have the modeling paste one, which might be a little bit tricky because it might still be wet. So if you're finding it easier to keep your brush a little bit wet, just take it into your solvent paste there and do it this way. It goes on a lot smoother, makes things a lot faster. But know that you might have to do that a few times. So I'm still coming in with some from my pot to keep it thick. But this goes a long way because, especially with the solvent. Okay, so now here's half and there's the other half. You're very welcome. Thanks, Deli. You're very welcome, Gloria. Now let's just show you, and in some places it's dry. I'll have to go a little bit gentler. Oops, in some places. I'm not going to press hard, but you can make this wider because I think it's wet, but I will try to show you. But now I'm rubbing too hard. I've actually incorporated some of the red. That's a really nice effect. Let's just finish this one off. I'm not going super dark on this one because I think my background is quite dark. So I'm going to take another baby wipe out right now so it cools off, so it dries up a little bit. But here, I'll show you if you kind of want, oopsie daisy, there I go, back and forth. This is still a little bit wet, so I'm having a hard time pulling up that paste on it. Maybe this one's dry. Oh, I've put varnish over this one. I was going to try and do that one, but there you have that. So this one's less heavy-handed than that one was there. This is the modeling paste. Okay, last but not least, let's hope that this is stuck down. And this one you can see how vintage that looks. It was originally this bright, but no longer. It's not going to be that bright. But that's the beauty of the vintage. And you can see even with the paintwork there. Why is my phone gone funny on me? Even here, how vintage the cogs have gone from doing that. Okay, so let's do this one, shall we? Oh, and again, if you want to come in and darken some of these sides, just come in with the paste like this, and you can come in and even darken them with your hands to give it that darker effect. Okay, so same thing, we're going to come over again. This works on rice paper, this works on any scrapbook paper. Just know that you have to make sure that you've protected it with a decoupage matte medium or some kind of glue that will be able to handle so I will show you half of the cog first. And you want to get into every little area, nook and cranny. So this is half the cog there and half of her. And let's just go ahead and start removing some of this. Again, go hard if there's certain areas that you want a lot wider. Now remember, you have to come in and put a solvent-based varnish over this. So, can you see the difference, how vintage she looks here compared to here? So totally very, very vintage. So we got this here and we got that here. And let's do the cog. It's okay, but you can put it on the floor if you want, if it's easier. My dad's coming. I think he might have a delivery. He's got boxes. Oh, that can only mean one thing. And then you have the cog there. Hard to see. The top part, see, is really red and ochre, and then you get to the bottom and it's very vintage. I don't know if you can see that. So let's finish her off. And again, you can put more solvent on this if you want to go that route. And of course, you know, take your time and then come in and clean out your cogs and everything, you know, how you want to. You can make her face more whiter if you want to, but she's gone totally rogue on us in the sense that she's gone totally vintage. Keep a little around your cog because you want to keep that shadow, right? So just very gently come around it. I'm just touching it up a little bit. And like again, if there's areas, see how I just made her bodice really white at the bottom there, because I really wanted to have that effect. And do the same with her little area right here in her ear, and just where the white parts of her hair are, just so that they stand out a little bit more. So you can see them now. Can you see them standing out way more? And then you can come in and start cleaning your cog. Again, leave some around the edges. Don't remove it all because you're gonna lose that kind of vintage look. Get into your little nooks and crannies. Pokey tool would work good for that. Okay, well, my band-aid. How I managed to get blisters, I don't know. So this now goes into here, my little solvent pot. The lid will go back on here. I have lots of cleaning to do. Everything now will get varnished with the clear varnish matte. Okay, so let me just show you what we did today. And this will get cleared with rubbing alcohol. So I'll just do some side-by-sides for you to end this off. So this is the difference between going a little bit lighter. Remember, I used solvent on this one, more so than the actual paste. So this is using Cardinal Red Decor Paint, soft, and then the modeling paste light. You could use a regular modeling paste too, but I needed this to dry. Oh, and of course, the Shock Art Butterfly Stencil. Can't forget about that. Okay, this one is our Patina Green Cardinal Paint. It's Decor Soft with the Shock Art Moments stamp and the Astral Stencil. So you can see those two today. I don't know which one I did today, to be honest. What's wrong with me? Oh, this one. But can you see the gel, the gloss gel paste there? Isn't that paste just something else? I just love it. You can really see the finishing wax working on there. So that's those two. This was the acrylic matte paints with the A5 mold and the vintage paste. The one on my right is with the mint, red clay and ochre. The one on my left is turquoise, red clay and ochre, and of course a vintage paste. And I don't know which A5 mold this is. I'm gonna think it's K3PT543. I don't know. I just love this effect. This one is just so nice. Oh, you're so welcome, Debbie. And then this one was where we did our, I forgot to put the paint down, but it turned out really nice. I might rub some of that wax off a little bit more. And that's with the Crackle Paste, Pentart Crackle Paste and Primer. This one I made the bodice a lot wider. And then last but not least, the one we just did, hope you can remember how white these were, is using rice paper or scrapbooking paper to make any paper pad look very, very vintage. And this one, I showed you how I whitened the areas of her face and her hair so they would stand out more. And you can see the cogs have gone from those beautiful bright colors to very, very nice vintage type colors. So I hope this was helpful. It really was all, remember, don't forget clear varnish mat on these, but this was really all about, I have so many questions myself when using this and how to use it and the best way to use it. And this is what I've come up with. Now the finishing wax, believe it or not, comes in white and it also comes in transparent. And Dali and I have used the white and transparent. We use the white as it's a great way to do highlights. If you don't want to use white primer when you do the dry brushing, just use the white wax. And we've used the transparent to do the crackled wood effect. So there's lots of ways to use it. I'm sure we have our YouTubes up there. But there you go. Oh, you're very welcome on the recap. Thank you, Gloria. Yeah, sometimes, thanks, Jill. Thanks, Lynette. Sometimes it's just nice to do a recap even for myself. Just to see how they work and just to show you, even though we're working with the finishing wax, you still got to see the different ways to use the other products that we carry. But that's it for now. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I hope you guys all had a wonderful Easter. I'll pile these up so you can see them. I hope you had a wonderful Easter, and we'll see you guys next week. Oh, and Dali's on at 3. You're welcome, Christy. Dali's on at 3 UK time, British Standard Time. Is it British Summer Time? British Summer Time. And then, which is 7 a.m. our time here, PST. All right, guys, have a great one. Yes, Gloria, I'll get the white finishing wax. And excellent, excellent way of dry brushing if you don't want to use primer. Okay, guys, have a great one, and we'll see you guys all soon. Gloria, we haven't done the challenge. We haven't got to that part yet due to the Easter long weekend. no, we will get to it, and there'll be a few changes coming up too on how we're doing the challenge. But we will be getting to that soon. It's just with the long weekend. Dali was catching up on her yard work, and I was too, and that's what we've been doing. We got a new launch coming April 11th, I believe, or next week I think we'll release another one, and then we got a big launch for June. So we will get to it. Do apologise, but it's usually the first week of the month that we release the winner, regardless. But great question, Gloria. Okay, guys, have a great day, and we will see you next week. I'm getting a little bit stressed here because